Hey guys, it's Sinem and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So as you can tell by the title, in today's video there is a dupe and it is for the brand new Natasha Denona bronze eyeshadow palette. So this is the one that just came out and you guys have seen it probably everywhere by now, but one of my subscribers commented, shout out to her, she mentioned how the Colourpop California Love palette looks very similar, and I said hold on a minute, you might be onto something. And I pulled out my California Love palette and I swatched them, and believe it or not, there are some shades in this palette that are almost identical or identical. Now every shade isn't a dupe, of course. It's very hard to find an eyeshadow palette that has a dupe for every single shadow, but it's pretty much like the mini version, as you can see, of the Natasha Denona bronze palette. And which one do you guys think is the Natasha Denona side? Which one do you think is the Colourpop side? I bet you guys can't even tell the difference. It's crazy how similar they look on the eyes. I also do have swatches towards the end of the video as well, so you guys can see a little more rather than just on the eyes, you can see it on the hand. And without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. I'm going to prep my eyes with the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. I just have a little one that comes with the Pro palette. And I'm just going to apply this to the lids, and this is clear, so I like that. Here they are right here. We have the Natasha Denona bronze palette, which is brand new. It just came out, and this retails for £60 in the UK and $65 in the US. And then we have the California Love palette by Colourpop Cosmetics, and this retails for £18, which is roughly £14 in the UK. So I'm going to open them up and show you guys what they look like first of all by themselves. This is the California Love palette. And I absolutely love this palette. It's one of my favorites from Colourpop. And then I'm going to show you the Natasha Denona one, which is this one. And then we'll do a little side by side. And this is them side by side. So I'm sure you can spot some shades already that are literally the same in the Natasha Denona palette. If you guys saw my review on this, I did do a review. I did mention that I don't think the formula is anything special that people make it out to be, and I actually find that the Colourpop formula is like, there's nothing bad about the Colourpop formula. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's blendable. Everyone knows Colourpop's eyeshadows are literally amazing, and the pigment is exactly the same as the Natasha Denona one, and the quality. So with the Colourpop palette, I'm going to first go into the Bay, which is this one right here. In the Natasha Denona palette, I'm going to go into Beach, which is the exact same shade. So right there you guys can see. I'm taking different brushes on both sides. So on my right side, which is your left, I'm going into Beach from Natasha Denona. I have nothing on these brushes. All these brushes are clean, but if they look like they have anything on them, it's because they're stained. And that's why I love going for brushes like this that are black, because they don't get stained. And I'm using a Sigma Tapered Blending E35 brush. I'm switching brushes, and this one is the Morphe M513, and just to show you guys, I have absolutely nothing on this brush. I'm going to go into the Colourpop palette. So I'm just blending this into the crease as well. So this is what it's looking like so far, and pretty much it's the same. Sundown for the Natasha Denona side, and the dupe of it is this one right here, which is Laguna, and you can see it's pretty much the same, like identical. So I'm taking the same Sigma brush and I'm going into Sundown and just applying that on the lid, but keeping it on the outer portion of the eyes. And as you can see, this is like a nice matte orange shade. I'm now picking up Laguna, that one right there, and let's see. Oh my goodness, it's the exact same. I mean, they look pretty similar. Let me just buff this one out a little more with the Sigma brush. So I'm taking Silk from Natasha Denona, this one right here, and going into Diego, which is that one right there. Let me just show you guys what it looks like. This is the Colourpop one, and this is Silk. I mean, honestly, I don't even see that much difference. So I'm taking silk on a flat brush and I'm just packing that on my lid. So we have something like that, and then I'm taking a different brush and going into Diego. I'm using these dry, I'm not using them wet either because I want you to see the true colour payoff and how they go on. So I don't think you can tell. If you can, maybe the Colourpop is slightly more gold. And so next, I think I'm going to go into a little bit of a cranberry shade because I am wearing red. And this is also another dupe. So this one is called Cahuenga. And this is a nice burgundy maroon. And then a cranberry in the palette is High Degree. And look at that. Oh my goodness. So let me show you guys. I mean, it's funny they look cranberry in the pan, but when you actually swatch them, they don't look as red. So this is the cranberry side by side. Going back in with this brush and just flipping it, I'm going into High Degree. And I'm just packing this just between the brown and the lid color. I'm blending the two. So flipping it again and taking that shade that I can't pronounce. The only downside is there's no mirror in the Colourpop palette, so I'm gonna have to use this one. And do the same thing. I would say this one is not as sparkly as the Natasha Denona. Only this shade. I'm going back in with a little more. There we go. I've lost a little bit of that gold, so I'm just going to go back into the Diego shade. Next, I'm taking a little of this shade right here, which is called Magma. Now, with the Magma shade, there isn't really a complete dupe in this palette. This is like that shade that doesn't really have one that's identical, but one that is identical to them is this one right here and this one. If I were to mix the two, then it would create Magma. I'm taking my MAC 224 brush and I'm going into Magma. And this I'm just applying on the outer V, just to add a little bit of depth. Going into my Morphe M504, I'm picking up HWY1, what does that mean? And Gold Rush. Don't worry, I'm gonna blend it out. Have you guys noticed as well, I use like high-end brushes on the high-end side, affordable brushes on this side. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm taking a little of my Laura Mercier powder and just any brush, and I'm just going to take the tiniest amount just to clean up under my brows for both sides, because in both palettes they don't really have a shade like this, and I do need to just soften everything a little bit. So I'm going into Sundown with a little bit of Beach and just putting that on the lash line. And then same with Laguna and The Bay. So I'm going to apply mascara to my top lashes, and I'm using the Makeup Revolution Big Lash Mascara. And I'm also going to apply them to the bottom afterwards as well. I'm now going into my lip color really quickly, and I'm using the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Amsterdam, which is a gorgeous cherry red matte shade, and it matches with my dress really nicely, and I absolutely love this shade. I don't know why I don't wear it more often. So this is the final look. As you guys can see, I literally cannot tell a difference on my eyes now that the look is complete. But now we're going to jump straight into the swatches of both palettes side by side. So starting with Colourpop. So this is what the Colourpop one looks like. So the shade Silk is a dupe for Diego right here, which I will put underneath. Isn't that crazy how identical they are? The next shade, the closest one I could find, is a little bit of Suntan and Magma mixed. So you can see right there, it's so similar once you mix the two. This one is just a pinch more red. There actually isn't a shade for the next two, so I'm not going to do those ones unfortunately. I'm taking Deep Dive and Magma to create my next shade. So again, very similar if you mix the two. The next dupe is Sundown. This one is probably the most identical in the whole palette. Right there, that one's Colourpop, that one is Natasha Denona. The next one is a glitter, a pressed glitter in the Colourpop palette, and of course there's no pressed glitters in the ND palette, so I'm going to skip that one. And this one, we have a dupe from the ND palette. So True Copper right there is a dupe for that one. Right there, you can see they're both copper shades, they're both metallic. Even if they are just slightly off by the tone, which most of them aren't, but if they are, you won't even be able to tell once you put it on the eyes. So the one on my eyes I used as well was that maroon, and you're going to see now this is the Natasha Denona one, and paired next to the Colourpop one. And again, you can see right there those two metallic shades. This is what it's looking like so far. This dark shade right here is Mission in the Colourpop palette. Deep Dive. Deep Dive is just slightly more purple. It's the closest, especially if you use it with a light hand, as you can tell. But the tones are pretty much the same. It's just that this one, I would say, is a little more purpley. Let me build up Mission. You can see right there, once blended in the crease on the outer V, you won't even be able to tell. And then the next shade I don't have a dupe for, but I do have one for this one. This is The Bay Beach in the Natasha Denona palette. I'm sorry that my swatches are just a little off, but you can see right there, there is beach, there is The Bay. And this is both palettes side by side. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know down below, are you going to buy the Natasha Denona palette, or are you going to just go for the Colourpop one instead? Are you going to save some money and go for this, or do you want to splurge and go for a bigger palette with a few more shades of Natasha Denona? So do let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of the look and how similar they are, and just, you know, everyone loves a good dupe. Who doesn't love to save money? So I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below, I'll chat back with you, and I will see you guys all in my next video.